coming from any individual, much less an individual seeking our nation's highest office. They demonstrate a severe lack of judgment and disrespect for our courts. Courts are where Americans turn to seek justice, prevent discrimination, and ensure our fundamental rights. Attacks against a member of the judiciary based on his ethnicity and his freedom to associate damage the place our courts hold in society and demonstrates the racial bias present in a potential future nominator of our nation's judges. It's deeply troubling that a hearing continues to be withheld for Judge Garland, and hope is maintained that an individual with such divisive politics will one day nominate our next Supreme Court justice. Mr. Trump's ongoing attacks against the Hispanic community should be repudiated, and his attempts to undermine our judicial system should be seen as unbecoming of a presumptive presidential nominee of a major political party. Thank you.
Can we hear from Luis Heredia?
My name is Luis Heredia, and I'm representing the office of Congressman Ruben Gallego. Congressman Gallego is in D.C. doing his job, and that's the same message we're sending to the senators that represent the state of Arizona. Senators are elected every 6 years, and so they hold the privilege to represent our state without being susceptible to the changes of elections or trying to do their job. We're asking our senators to take action on the nominee. Whether it's a Republican president or a Democratic president, a Republican-controlled Senate or a Democratic-controlled Senate, the Senate for decades has done their job by scheduling hearings and voting on the Supreme Court nominee. That is their job. It is unprecedented that Senator Flake and McCain have joined the national Republican obstruction on the Supreme Court, refusing to give a fair consideration. It is their job to represent. It's their job to consent. It is their job to do in the best interest of the country and the state of Arizona, not their political party. This is more concerning given what Trump has said and attacks that he has given to Judge Curiel. It is an offensive comment. It is not one beholden of a presidential nominee, and it should not be reason why we are holding up this nomination. So we ask for action. We're asking for our senators to do their job.
Good morning. My name is Jim Barton, and I'm here on behalf of the Torres Law Group. You know, I think one of the important things to remember is that our Constitution cannot enforce itself. The only way our Constitution protects our national values is if we have people enforcing the document with integrity. And that's not just judges. It's also senators, and it's also the President of the United States. I'm from Indiana, just like Judge Curiel. And the only difference between me and Judge Curiel in Donald Trump's eyes is the color of his skin, and that he's Hispanic. All right? How can Donald Trump possibly swear an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States if he's going to disregard the 14th Amendment and the 15th Amendment that say our national values are to treat people without regard to their race? Remember, the Constitution isn't just enforced by judges. It also has to be enforced by the president. And this candidate can't possibly enforce that Constitution. Furthermore, the historic delay that we've seen from the Senate in not hearing President Obama's nominee for the Supreme Court is devastating. Article 2, Section 2 of the United States Constitution gives the power and obligation of appointing Supreme Court justices to the President of the United States. Senators McCain and Flake participating in this nonsensical procedural parliamentary maneuvering to subvert the Constitution is unacceptable, and it damages the core values of our country. Until our elected representatives enforce the Constitution of the United States, it becomes a dead letter. Thank you.
Senator Quezada.
Thank you. Good morning, Senator Martin Quesada. I'm out of District 29 in Maryville and Glendale. You know, we've heard today how Donald Trump's comments have been offensive to the legal community, to our Constitution, and to his obligations, were he ever to become president, to respect the Constitution and uphold the rule of law in the United States. But I want to speak today also about how his comments are offensive to people of color across this nation, people who immigrated to this country and people who seek to give back to this country, whether they are serving as judges, whether they serve as state senators, whether they serve as construction workers, whether they serve as steel workers. Any person of color who comes to this country wants to give to this country and wants to be a part of this great nation. We have been told today that Donald Trump only sees us by the color of our skin and by the country of our origin if we immigrated to this country. That is not acceptable. That is not what our country is all about, and that's not what our parents came and fought and died for in wars to be a part of this nation. I find that horribly offensive, and I am anxious to hear many more individuals come and speak out about Donald Trump's comments. Individuals who serve on both sides of the aisle, both Democrat and Republican, because we do have many Republican elected officials of color. We have Republican members who represent communities of color. They too have an obligation to speak out, and I call upon them today to come out and speak out against Donald Trump's offensive remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, let me real quickly introduce myself. Supervisor Steve Gallardo, Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, District 5, Southwest Maricopa County. Two issues, folks. Two issues. One, we need other Republican leaders throughout the state of Arizona, including Governor Ducey, to speak out and have his voices heard, to let the people of Arizona know where he stands on Donald Trump's offensive remarks to the Latino community. He governs a state where nearly a third of the population is Latino. Governor Ducey, where are you? Why are you so quiet? Where are the other Republican leaders in the congressional delegation? Why have they been so quiet? Senator John McCain, who has come out and said he would endorse Donald Trump, where are you on these offensive remarks? Are you going to continue to remain quiet as a third of your population of your state is offended? We need you to speak up. To Senator Flake, who has come out, and I applaud him for speaking out against Donald Trump's offensive remarks, we ask him now to move forward with hearings on our judicial nominee. We need a full hearing. He sits on the Judiciary Committee in the United States Senate. We need him to move forward and call for committee hearings. We need to move this process forward. Many of the Republicans came out very soon at the beginning of the year and said that they wanted to wait until the next president is elected. Well, we know who their nominee is. It's clear. Donald Trump is their nominee. Do they want Donald Trump to make that appointment? Is that what we're waiting for? We're waiting for an individual who continues to offend every segment of our society, continues to offend women, continue to offend Muslims, continue to offend people with disability, continue to offend veterans, and he now continues to offend Hispanic. We need hearings on this Supreme Court appointment. We call on Senator Flake to call for hearings, move this process forward. Let's not let Donald Trump, if elected president, make this appointment. He's already offended several segments of our society. Why are we going to let this individual make this type of appointment? Senator Flake, if you're truly offended by Donald Trump's remarks, don't let him make this appointment. Let's move forward with hearings. Do your job as mentioned before. It is unheard of that the Supreme Court is going to wait until after the election. There is plenty of time for them to do their job. Let's move forward with the hearing. Let's give an up and down vote on this Supreme Court appointee and let the process move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think I could say it better than Supervisor Gallardo. Are there any questions?
So Trump's coming on the 18th.
Yeah.
Any message for him?
Yeah. He cannot say these racist comments. It is abhorrent, it is un-American, and it's un-Arizonan. He's not welcome here.
What do you think? I'll ask you, Steve. What do you think is going to happen when he comes? You saw what happened last time. Now he's the nominee.
I would imagine that the people of Arizona are not going to sit quietly. They're going to let their voices loud and clear to the nominee of the Republican Party. They're going to make their voices loud and clear to Governor Ducey and the congressional delegation. They're going to let their voices loud and clear, loud and clear to Senator McCain and Senator Flake that he's not welcome. His comments, his abrasive, offensive remarks are not welcome in the state of Arizona. We want our Republican leadership, particularly congressional delegation, to stand firm and stand with the people of Arizona, particularly a third of the population that's offended by Donald Trump, to say no more. We're not going to welcome Donald Trump in this state until he apologizes, takes back his statements. We want him to make what he has done make right. Apologize, take it back, and we want Senator Flake and Senator McCain to move forward with Senate hearings, particularly Senator Flake, who sits on the Judiciary Committee, who's required to have congressional hearings. We want him to move forward with congressional hearings on the Supreme Court nominee. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump is not welcome. His remarks are not welcome, and we want Donald Trump to take them back and apologize to the largest minority in the state of Arizona, the Latino community.
All right, thank you all very much.